and welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books. I've just painted my nails. I'm going to see the Barbie movie tonight, hence the pink. I've just painted my nails. I'm trying to be very careful when touching things. Welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books. It's a new video from me today. Never made a video like this before, but I had a little idea and I thought this would be a good idea to sort of review the first half of the year via my favourites that this year I've been putting on my Instagram. If you don't follow me over on Instagram, please head on over there and follow me at Lauren and the Books. I review every book that I read over on Instagram, so you'll see the reviews for those before you see the wrap-ups here on this channel. And I also put up things like my favourites and stuff that I've enjoyed as the month's gone by. And that's what we're here to do today. So today I'm going to review my highlights for the first 6 months of the year, so from January through to June, and just have a little chat about those things and whether they've remained highlights and things like that. I just think it'll be a lovely thing to do. So let's review the year. I'm going to move on over here because we're going to insert hopefully we're going to insert what I'm looking at on my phone here so I can talk you through it. So let's get recording the old screen. And let's start with January. So, January highlights, here we go. This picture was taken at Leeds Castle. So, my favourite book of January was Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. That has remained one of my favourite books of the year. It featured on my best books of the year so far. Really loved the reading experience of it, particularly as we read it for Patreon Book Club. So it's really nice to chat about it afterwards. It's a book about gaming at the centre of it, but it's also about friendships and relationships through the years and how friendships change and how you might come to rely on a person or what you might get from a person for friendship. But yeah, a lot about creativity and gaming. I loved it. Loved it. Having not really been into gaming, well, having not been into gaming before, this was lovely to read, so I loved it. That was my best book of the month. My best film of the month was Persuasion, the Netflix one of the adaptation of the Jane Austen classic, featuring Dakota Johnson as Anne Elliot. Now, I know this has been panned by quite a few people, but I really loved it. It's sort of, it's very modernised in the way that they've changed even some of the words. She refers to Captain Wentworth as her ex, which is something that would never have happened in the book. Like that, exes, I guess, didn't exist then. Well, they did exist, but the term ex didn't. And there's a lot of like Fleabag-esque breaking of the fourth wall, but I really enjoyed it, and it remains to me to this day like one of my favourite films I've watched this year, so I enjoyed it. Next up was my favourite telly. This clip isn't going to play, but this is Call the Midwife. There's a lot of Call the Midwife stuff. Call the Midwife is one of my fave things ever, and this particular moment, which you can just see Trixie, the character Trixie here on the phone, this is during a lockdown on in the maternity unit that she works in, because there's been a breakout of, I think it's a diarrhea and sickness bug, and she's saying there, and this is her on the phone to her fiance Matthew Elwood, who's very, very handsome, and they're having a conversation about them going on their honeymoon later on in the year. And yeah, I've just really loved, I love Call the Midwife anyway. I love the sort of social commentary it does on women's health through the years, but in the last few series I've been very, very invested in Trixie and Matthew's romance. So yeah, I very much enjoyed that month and that moment, and it was my favourite telly of the month. Oh, so a favourite culture thing I did. So my cousin Laura bought me a ticket to see One Woman Show for my birthday, and we went along and saw it, and it was fantastic. We had really, really good seats. We were like a couple of rows from the front, and it's all about a woman doing a one-woman show, a comedy show. I don't really want to spoil it. I know it's touring all over the place. I follow oh my goodness me, I've forgotten her name. I follow her on Instagram. She's currently in Sydney. But yeah, there's some hilarious moments and a lot of sort of like self-realisation and like poking fun at herself, and again, the second time I'm mentioning this, a sort of like Fleabag format of sitting on a chair on a stage and talking, and sort of like little side eyes and stuff like that. Loved it. We both really, really loved it. And it was a real short thing. I think it was like just over an hour. Really loved it. Yeah, so my favourite album, the favourite new music that I listen to. So I've been trying to listen to a new album every month this year, and it's been going really well. I've managed it so far. And the first new album I listened to was Prioritise Pleasure by Esteem. This is the deluxe edition, which I would recommend listening to because there's some amazing acoustic versions of the tracks at the end of the album. I've really got into Rebecca Lucy Taylor throughout the year after seeing her appear on House of Games. But I love her music. I also, she did the soundtrack for Prima Facie, which I went to see, I think maybe last year, and first heard of her then and listened to a little bit, but then having listened to the whole album, I just love it. And it's really like, puts into words a lot of the ways that I felt about romance and stuff when I was younger and relationship with boys I had then. Yeah, she's amazing, and I loved listening to this album. And I'm still listening to it now, so yeah. Is this my favourite album of the year? I think it might be. So when I say new music, this I think came out at the end of 2022. But yeah, I'm trying to listen to like albums that have come out in the last, either like this year, well, more recently, really new albums, but like newer music to me, because I'm sort of stuck in 2008 just listening to Kate Nash all day, every day. And then we've also been making a playlist every month on Instagram. So I ask the people on Instagram for songs that remind them of a theme. The theme for this month was happy. And then the first 100 songs that come through to me, I make a playlist of those 100 songs. And this was the happy playlist. And yeah, it was very happy and very enjoyable. Favourite thing I ate was chat bombs, and I ate these when Laura and I went to London to watch a one-woman show. Chat bombs are amazing. These are from Mowgli. They're like, I guess, poppadoms in a ball filled with yogurt and coriander and a little bit of chutney, and then this is sort of like Bombay mixed with mint and coriander and pomegranate seeds on top. They also do vegan versions of these, which I've had when Mercedes and I went for lunch here as well. They're amazing. They're like one bomb of... I could honestly probably do like 2 or 3 portions of these when I go there. They are delicious. Oh, this is something I wish I'd kept up. So I started doing my favourite video that I'd made that month, and I wish I'd kept on doing that. But that month I made Anne of Green Gables cake. Looking at that cake now, it looks so bad. But yeah, I got a book out from the library, which was a book that featured lots of recipes from different books, and there was the vanilla buttercream cake from the Anne of Green Gables book. And yeah, I had a really nice time making it. It looks like shit there, but it tasted really nice. I'll link the video down below if you'd like to go and watch it. Favourite thing I wore, so I used to make on this channel many years ago a video called What I Wore, where I talk you guys through things that I'd worn and where I'd got them from and why I'd pieced them together and stuff. But I sort of started doing that a little bit on here, and here, I mean, I'm looking at this is in July now, so I'm in sort of like short sleeves, but looking at myself in knitwear, I just love a bit of knitwear. This coordinate set I bought it new from Sainsbury's. I'm really careful and mindful when I buy stuff new now, because I want to be able to wear it a lot in order to get wear out of it. And this, I thought, I loved the jumper and I loved the skirt and I loved them together, so I thought, well, I could wear them together as an outfit, like I've done here with these pink tights and pink boots. Those pink boots are so old, and they're also from Sainsbury's. But also I love the jumper by itself and to wear it with trousers or another skirt, and I love the skirt and I could wear that with like a white roll neck or a white t-shirt and stuff like that. So yeah, and I just think it looks really cool, and it's quite like, it was really nice for work, but also can look quite casual if you've got like trainers on with it, and it's just so comfy. So yeah, that was my favourite thing. Oh, my favourite board game, this is a video, you can't hear the sound of this, but this is David playing Dungeons and Dragon board game. It's not the Dungeons and Dragon game, it's a Dungeons and Dragon version. I haven't got it here, but like, it's sort of like an intro to the game. David was amazing at it. You have to sort of like make up different things that are going on. There, I think he's just pretending to kiss a little baby owlbear. But yeah, we had a great time playing that with the pair of us, and then we played it with our friends Emma and Joe as well. And then the last favourite thing was our new mattress and bedding. So for our wedding, we got married at the end of last year. We got money. We asked for money so that we could buy ourselves a new mattress. Our mattress we'd had for years. It was a mattress that I owned before I even moved in with David. So it was really nice to be able to put our money towards something that was helpful, because our backs were killing us. And David's mattress had sort of like sagged all through and the springs had gone. So we bought ourselves new mattress, new pillows, new duvet covers, because we've got a king size duvet, and yeah. Those bed sheets in particular, they're the bed sheets I've got on the bed at the moment. I said in a reading vlog recently, when I've got white bed sheets on, I just feel like I've really got my life together. And I love them, and I love the new bed and the new duvet and everything. So that was January. Wow, okay, so that went okay. Shall we move on to February? I'm just going to check that recorded before we move on to February. Well, yeah, it looks as though we're in business, so let's go straight on to February, shall we? Okay, February highlights. Oh, this page is me trying out my new watercolours. And oh, we'll just go back to the watercolours. Yeah, my sister got me a watercolour set for Christmas, and this is me trying out the watercolours, and I had a lovely time. I've only got them out once since then, and this is my reminder to get them out again. The best book I read that month was Babel. This picture is lovely. It was taken when I went to Leeds Castle with my mum, my sister and my niece. There's Leeds Castle in the background, but what you can't see is that there's a massive swan that was so close to me while I was reading. I love this book. Rebecca F. Kwang has had a real moment with me this year. I loved Babel. I've also read Yellowface. That's probably my favourite book of the year. And I've currently got The Poppy Wars, which is her first series of books on reservation from the library. I've got to go and pick up the first one, actually. This one, it says here, an arcane history. It's sort of like such a feat done of sort of like a book about colonialism and magical powers and it's like a college novel, like dark academia. I loved it. I really, really loved it. Would highly recommend. Oh, my favourite film was Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. Yeah, it was so cute. David and I went along to watch this and really, really, really loved it. About a little shell who's been separated from his family, and it's sort of filmed in a documentary style. And I think it started off as a short or maybe like a little YouTube series or something, and it's been made into a film. It is just so cute and so lovely. I really, really loved it. I would like to revisit that, actually. It was very, very cute. Another bit of best telly. So this is more Call the Midwife. There is Trixie and Matthew on their wedding day. As I said, I've been very invested in their relationship. Here I've written, no more Call the Midwife until Christmas means that I'll watch other stuff now and have actual recommendations. So yeah, this was a real moment for me, as you can imagine. Someone who's been, look, I'm having a little smooch. Someone who's been quite invested in their relationship, for them then to get married in the last episode of the series. And it was beautiful. It was so lovely. So yeah. That's that until Christmas. Not long now though, and then the new episode. Okay, so the favourite thing I wore was this top from Stitch Fix. So I got into Stitch Fix through as I get into all good recommendations from my cousin Laura. And Laura recommended Stitch Fix, which is a company whereby you download an app and then you do a sort of like algorithm quiz every day on clothes that you like. So they have them in sections, like it might be tops, it might be sweater weather, it might be outfits pulled together, and eventually once they've got enough data they start sending you sort of like little algorithm quizzes of style for you, and then however often you want, and I've sort of tended to go quarterly, they send you 5 items based on your algorithms, based on little notes you've left your stylist. Something I always wanted to do, because I've always wanted to have a stylist style me. It's something that I've been really into the idea of ever since I was sort of like at a student shopping in Topshop, knowing that there was in-store stylists and thinking I'll never be able to afford that. So to have this as a service, which is £10, but if you end up keeping any items in the box, the £10 comes off of your shop. And I've got some I've had 3 boxes since this. So the first one I got in February, and then I've had 2 more since then. The most recent one, I mean, this pink top I absolutely love, and I was actually thinking of wearing it. It's a bit warm, but it's like the best pink thing I own. And it goes, as you can see, I've paired it here with a pair of jeans, and then I've paired it under a dress, and it just looks great. Like, it's really vibrant, it fits lovely, and it's by a brand called Editor's Cut, which is Stitch Fix's own brand, so you won't be able to find that on the high street. But my most recent box, I asked for some dresses to wear on my honeymoon and sort of like summery stuff. I'm terrible at shopping for summer clothes, and they really sorted me out. In fact, I think we'll probably see that in the June highlights. But yeah, they're amazing, and I've had a really, really great experience with them, and I will show you more of the stuff later because there'll be more stuff. But if you would like to use my affiliate link and also get involved, I will link that down below. That means you get £15 credit and I get £15 credit, so you'll get your first consultation free plus £5 credit, or £15 if you end up keeping any items. But yeah, love that pink top. Can't wait to wear it again, actually. The best day and the best food. Oh, David and I went for a day in London, which was so, so lovely. We went to Borough Market and to the Tate, and then in the evening we went to watch Witness for the Prosecution, an Agatha Christie play, which was actually set in a courtroom in City Hall. But yeah, we had an amazing day. We went to Dishoom for our lunch, which was a wedding present from, no, a birthday present from our friends Ryan and Amy. But we'd also eaten a lot at Borough Hall, and the Tate was amazing, and the play was fantastic. And David and I very rarely sort of do these big like trips to London and go and do this, so we really love doing that. You can see I've got that pink top on again. And we will definitely be doing it again. Yeah, it was just a perfect day. It was really lovely. So that month, the album I was listening to was SOS by SZA. Very much enjoyed it, I didn't have, that month I remember Googling, because I didn't really know what music to listen to. I Googled I went on the album chart and saw this and was like, oh yeah, I want to listen to that. Really enjoyed that album a lot. And the playlist we made that month, because it was February, Valentine's Day, it was songs that remind us of love, which was very nice. And then I also, vain moment here, having my hair chopped off and dyed was really nice, and I couldn't be more thrilled with it. So as you can see, I've continued to be more thrilled with it. The only difference it's made is that these blonde bits were much bigger. I've had them sort of like halved, although you can see this is like, I'm due to get my roots done. I actually love my hair, but while I was on my honeymoon I was thinking, oh god, I've gone off my hair a bit, but I've done this with it today and I'm really thrilled with it, so I just think I need to make a bit more effort with it. But it does look really fucking good there, doesn't it? I look like bloody Jerry Halliwell. Last favourite, David and I have been falling asleep listening to Classic FM, and honestly it's the most relaxing thing ever. We've been doing that again this week. So we started this when we went on our honeymoon, on our mini-moon, sorry. We stayed at the Pig at Bridge Place, and they had a radio in the room which was playing Classic FM, and because it was like Christmas, they were playing like hymns and Christmas music, and it was so nice to have that on all the time. And then we've sort of pulled that through the year. We stopped doing it for a couple of months, but we've started doing it again last week, I think, and just listening to it. And we often put it on a timer, so it's on for like an hour as we fall asleep. But last night we had it on all night, so when I woke up I'd hear a little bit of classical music, go to the wee, fall back to sleep again. But yeah, it's a lovely thing to do. As you can see, she's very relaxed there. So that was February. Shall we move on to March? Let's. I hope this is as enjoyable for you as it is for me. March, let's go. Oh, here we go. March highlights. I had to go through quite a lot of stuff to get there. This was taken from a trip that David and I took to go and see Sam Ryder. We bought tickets off of my friend Ryan and Amy, because they bought tickets and then Amy was pregnant, so they couldn't go to the concert, so we bought tickets, and I saw this and I thought it was great. Creativity is in all of us, isn't it just? Best book I read that month was Maggie O'Farrell's The Marriage Portrait. I very much enjoyed this book. It also appeared on my best books of the year so far. It was a book that I tried reading last year and thought it was boring, but absolutely loved it. Maggie O'Farrell can write a bloody weaver story, can't she? This is following a young girl, Lucrezia, and her marriage to an older chap, and at the beginning of the book you find out that he is going to murder her, and then you sort of flip between this little period of like her realising that that's going to happen, and then back to her as a child and her parents meeting, and her getting betrothed to this chap, and all of these sort of things that go on. Yeah, really well done historical fiction. Very much enjoyed it. Bought it for my sister for her birthday. Loved Daisy Jones and the Six. So this was a TV adaptation of the book by Taylor Jenkins Reid. The book that I enjoyed a lot. I read it the first time round, thought it was good, listened to the audiobook, loved it, and then have listened to the audiobook I think again since and also loved it. But the casting of this was amazing. The people they got to play the characters, so good, and the fashion was amazing. I was very into it, really enjoyed it. This is like the first scene basically, and loved it. Thought Sam Claflin in particular cast very well. Best film I watched was An Irish Goodbye. This was the film that won the best shorts at the BAFTAs, I think, and it was available on the iPlayer. And it's the tale of these two brothers after their mother has died, and they have a list of things that they're going to do with their mother in her ashes in this urn here, before they say goodbye to one another and sort of carry on with their lives. Enjoyed it a lot. Just realised it's got Michelle Fairley in it, who I think is in Game of Thrones, was she? Best thing I wore, as I put here, it simply has to be these cowboy boots, secondhand on Depop but brand new. So quite often, and this happens often, when I buy something secondhand on Depop, it will arrive and it won't have been worn at all. So these boots are from, I think they're from Only, but yeah, I bought them secondhand, and I've worn them so much, and every time I wear them someone says, oh my god, your boots, and I love them, and they're really comfy, and like this is probably the heel I can manage, but they can completely change an outfit. So this dress that I'm wearing them with here, this green dress, is a dress that I've worn at Christmas, at weddings, to work, but when you put them on with this these cowboy boots, it looks completely different. I've loved wearing them, and I will enjoy wearing them probably forever. Best thing I ate has to be this tofu bayo bun with black bean mayonnaise. I could have eaten 10. That was from Yum Bun. So when David and I went to watch Sam Ryder, we went to Seven Dials Market, where they've got loads and loads of different food stalls, and it's something I've wanted to do for a long time, is just order loads of different bits of food from different places. And yeah, we had those, and slices of pizza, and vegan tacos, and bubble tea, and all sorts of delicious stuff. But that in particular, David ordered the chicken one, and he was devo because my one was so delicious. It was really, really delicious, and it's true, I could have eaten 10. Oh, cutest moment of the month award goes to my niece for finding the most revolting butterfly dresses and frozen based dresses in every shop, and holding them up against herself and looking in the mirror at how fabulous she looked. You go, girl. Yeah, she literally did all the time. And when I was like, oh, if you like it, that's fine, but I think it's a bit disgusting, she was like, it's not disgusting. She would find every single revolting dress she could get her hands on and hold it up against herself. Very, very cute moment. I love going shopping with her. It doesn't happen very often. Yeah, the best event ever was I went to see Sam Ryder. I've never felt so sort of involved in a performance. He was so engaging, and like there was a lot of like singing and recalling, and him singing a note and us singing it back to him, and it wasn't I'm not particularly, I am a bit more now because I've been listening to the album, more on that, but I wasn't particularly really familiar with a lot of his music, like Spaceman, the Eurovision entry being the one that I was most familiar with, but it didn't seem to matter, and everyone was so happy, and it was so lovely. And David and I had an absolutely great time, and we had sitting down seats, which was lovely. Oh, there we go. So the new album I listened to, I put newish here, was Sam Ryder's There's Nothing But Spaceman. I think that came out in 2022, but yeah, very much enjoyed. I listened to it on like the run up to us going to watch him, and then afterwards, some great music on there. Yeah, and then the playlist we made was the women. A female, like girl power playlist because of International Women's Day. Very much enjoyed that at all. Oh yeah, and then I just sort of like tapped this on the end, was that I feel like it would be totally remiss of me not to mention how amazing the NHS have been in caring for someone very poorly and very dear to David and I for a large portion of the month. Dignity, kindness, specialised treatment, all free at the point of care. Thank you, thank you, thank you. David's dad had a cardiac arrest at the beginning of March whilst doing parkrun. And it was a very, very, very tense and awful 10 days. He has made the most incredible full recovery you have ever seen. And whilst it was all in the throes of happening, the NHS were so amazing in keeping us calm, keeping us informed, keeping him alive and well, and his rehab and everything like that has been amazing. So yeah, I sort of tagged that on the end. I disappeared for a good portion of time on Instagram and YouTube, and so many of you kindly messaged me and said, oh, I don't know what's happened, but I hope you're okay. We've noticed you haven't been. It was over the time when the Women's Prize for Fiction long list got announced, and that's always a point when I'm very, very active, and everyone sort of noticed that I wasn't. So you're very kind if you messaged. But yeah, it would have been remiss of me not to mention them because they were amazing, as they are every day. So on to April, shall we go? Let's go, April. April highlights. Oh, this is a shadow of me, my niece and my sister waving, which is very cute, isn't it? I look like I've got the longest legs in the world there, like a giraffe. What have we got first up? Oh yeah, the best book I read, I'm a Fan, by Sheena Patel. Absolutely love this book. Again, one of my favourite books of the year. I mean, I think this is going to happen all the time. This is fantastic. From an unnamed narrator, which you guys know I love, following a woman and her sort of like inner thoughts and thinking the very worst things that people can think. It reads like social media. It's in sort of like excerpts, and it makes you feel a bit dirty and a bit grubby and a bit like ugh, but you're following this woman, unnamed, who is having an affair with a man who is in turn sleeping with somebody else, and she is obsessed with these people both on and offline. And you follow her sort of like deep dives on these people online and her obsessions with them and stuff like that. Great. Read it for Patreon book club. Very divisive. Not everybody loved it, but very divisive. The best telly I watched. So this is after the 4th episode of the most recent series of Succession. I don't want to give any spoilers, because if you haven't watched Succession, stop watching this, go and watch it now. But this was probably the best episode of anything that I've ever watched on telly. And this sort of shocking event happened halfway through the series. And I remember watching it thinking, well, this is a real moment. And I remember not being involved in like when the West Wing and the Sopranos came out, and how big sort of television things these were. But I felt like that the whole time I was watching Succession, particularly this last series. And this episode, and we've got the character of Tom Wamsgans here saying, what the fuck? This episode, I thought, well, this cannot get better. But every single episode after that, elevated and elevated. An amazing series, an amazing performance from all of the actors. The script writing was just fantastic. I'm not sure I'll ever watch telly as good as this ever again, and I'm okay with that because I got to see this. So yeah, amazing. Oh, so the best films I watch, I couldn't pick between two. These, and I was actually having a chat with friends last night about the best films I've watched this year. So Suzume, which I absolutely loved, and Polite Society, which I also absolutely loved. We went to see them within like 2 days of each other. And I'd never watched these sort of, I don't know what you would call, what would you call the genre of Suzume? Like animated, I don't really know. But like, I loved it. Really sort of like, spoke to me in like I really felt like I was in it. Like it felt, the moments of calm, I really felt calm, and the moments of like chase, I really felt like I was chasing along with them, and the moments of beauty, I was like awed by it. Yeah, it really spoke to me. And then Polite Society, I love films about sisters anyway, but this film in particular was great fun. This younger girl who you can see here, she wants to be a stunt woman, and her older sister has always been a real inspiration for her. Went to art college, doesn't really give a fuck, but then her sister falls in love with somebody and everything seems a bit strange, and she's like, well, why does my sister now not want to do all the fun things we used to do before? And yeah, it's really great. Great stunts, great fun, good laughs. Very much enjoyed both of those films. Best new music, and I really did overdo it with this. So this is Aurora, the album of the music from Daisy Jones and the Six, and I literally did listen to it every single day, and the song Honeycomb on that album is amazing. It just felt really, really special, and like, David and I love that song. I remember David was doing the cleaning once and he listened to Honeycomb literally, I think, about 30 times in a row. But yeah, I love the telly of it and I love the music of it. I thought it was great. We made the playlist. Oh yeah, this has been a really successful playlist. So we made a playlist together of classical bangers. So I asked everybody to submit their favourite piece of classical music, and we put them together. I will try and link all of these playlists down below, by the way. But yeah, that's been the most followed playlist that we've made. And it's great, it's really, really good. It's got a real like range of, I know nothing about classical music, and this has got a real range of classical music on it. I loved it. Best fun I had in my own home was me doing a 60 musical steps video, and here I am doing it. I will link that video down below. But yeah, I mean, I love 60 musical anyway, and me being able to do like a workout to that, I'm there for it. She's having an absolutely lovely time. Ding! Great time. My best day was Easter Sunday. It felt extra special, I think, because we had all of our families together. So my family and David's family come together. This is at David's parents' house, and because David's dad had been so poorly, this was a sort of a day that we were all felt very special to all of us. There's my niece having a lovely time with my other niece, who is this is David's sister's dog Margot. But yeah, I mean, David's mum always makes everything look so amazing. Look at those like table decorations, those napkins in the shape of bunny ears with a little egg in the middle, and these bunnies' bums and stuff. Yeah, we had a lovely day. We've also been having a massive spring clean and clear out, and doesn't it feel good? Yep, there I am wiping up, I think, mouse shit from my house. But yeah, we had a really good clean out and it did feel good. Biggest success was me finishing this puzzle, which has been on the dining table for 6 weeks. So my mum bought me this This is the World of Shakespeare puzzle. My mum got me this for Christmas. I've also got the World of the Tudors. My dad's currently borrowing that, and the World of the Austins. And I've just bought World of Agatha Christie for August Christie next month. They're really great poems. I included them on my that's the end of April, by the way. I included them on my Christmas gift guide last year. They're really, really great puzzles. So yeah, would very highly recommend. And that was April. 2 more months to go, guys. Let's do May. May highlights. Here are some lovely tomatoes that I bought from McNade's, an amazing local farm shop to us. I mean, I spent a lot of money on tomatoes that day, but they were delicious. Oh, no, I've skipped a whole day. We don't want to do that. Okay, oh yeah. So, best book I cannot read. Best book I read, I just cannot be expected to pick between these two, surely. And yeah, both of these appeared on my best books of the year so far. So this is Death of a Bookseller by Alice Slater and The Memory of Animals by Claire Fuller. Death of a Bookseller is a sort of mystery novel set in the book-selling world, set in Spines, which is a chain bookshop reminiscent of Waterstones, or Stones as it's known as in the UK. We call it Waterstones or Stones. Yeah, about two booksellers, and one of them's obsession with another, and it has really great sort of like talk about true crime. And yeah, I think that Alice really captured the sort of like monotony of retail work, particularly in the run up to Christmas, which is when this is set, paired with the sort of like desperation and obsession of the characters and stuff. So yeah, loved it. And then The Memory of Animals was set during a pandemic. Claire Fuller actually wrote this before the pandemic, but this is set during the pandemic. And our main character, Neffy, has gone to have a clinical trial of a vaccine that they think is going to stop this super virus, and she wakes up and everything's gone to shit, and it's sort of that. There's 3 narratives, all from Neffy's perspective, which is very cleverly done. One of her writing letters to somebody, one of her in the past, and her in the facility, trying to work out what she's going to do with these other sort of people that have also come for this clinical trial. But yeah, fucking 2 great books. Best film, Rye Lane. Yeah, Dave and I really loved Rye Lane. And this was, again, a very short little film about these 2 people meeting and forming a relationship together. Really good fun. Really, like, bizarre in places. Like, unusual stuff happens that you're not expecting to happen. But it's basically like a day in the life of them wandering around London and going to different places, including like families' homes, ex-boyfriends' places and stuff like that, and getting to know each other, and us getting to see them, their relationship blossom. I really enjoyed it. It was very good. Best telly, again. More Succession, and this this particular clip. The Succession isn't supposed to be a funny programme, but this clip here, which it says, this is Shiv talking about her husband, Tom, saying Tom will honestly suck the biggest dick in the room, and then the player that's the person she's talking to, the actor, I can't think of his name in it, but he's played by Alexander Skarsgård, and he says, "Young love!" It just really creased me. But yeah, fabulous. Fantastic telly. But also very much enjoyed, as well as Succession being great, David and I stayed awake until 1:30 watching the whole of season 6 of Selling Sunset. Time I do not require back because it is just socially good, and this really appeals to my sort of like reality TV loving vibe. Yeah, I just love that show. It's set on Sunset Boulevard, a group of women selling houses, and they're sort of like inner dramas. What I also love is that I follow a lot of them on Instagram, and you can find out they're like, here are the screenshots of what really happened, of like the unfolding drama on here. So loved it. Yeah, listen, this album was amazing. That Feels Good by Jessie Ware. Loved it. So sort of like disco vibes, and really enjoys it. Really love this a lot, actually. The playlist we made was of all the old tunes we enjoyed listening to when we were young and going out, and I loved it. Yeah, so sort of like a getting ready to go out playlist from like 2000s or late 2000s. Loved it. Yeah, Laura and I went on a choir holiday and it was really, really good fun. This is us in the pub having a great time. We performed in that pub. So we learnt a song over the whole weekend, but we also touched on songs that we've been learning in the term during choir. My choir is set up over, so although I'm part of the UK Soul Choirs, in Kent there's lots of different branches, and I went along to the choir, and there wasn't many people from my branch. I knew Laura, who's in another branch of the choir, but it was really nice to get to meet other people in the choir, and just a whole weekend of singing. I mean, what a bloody gift. We absolutely loved it. It was so good. It was so, so fun. Did lots of walking in the evening, which was very fun with you guys in the evening, because I set myself a challenge at the beginning of the year where I'd walk 1,000,000 steps in 100 days, which works out roughly 10,000 steps a day. And I did complete it, hurrah, but never once was I on time. Never once was I on target. So this month in, wherever we are now, May, I started walking in the evenings so that you guys could keep me company if I hadn't made it to 10,000 steps. It was really nice. Often we would just talk about what we'd done for the day or what our favourite book was or what we're planning on reading next. And yeah, it was good fun to do that, and I enjoyed it a lot. So thank you if you ever tuned in for one of those. This was a nice day. So I saw Jen for the first time in ages. I saw her, I think, last January. I remember going for a walk on Hampstead Heath when it was quite cold, but we walked through Bluebells and we went to a bookshop and we shared a Mars bar and we went to a little cafe, and yeah, we just had an amazing day. It was so, so lovely to see her. Look at us both so smiley and happy. Bought a new denim waistcoat because I couldn't find a couldn't find a second-hand one anywhere, and I've absolutely no regrets. I do quite like writing no regrets instead of no regrets. My camera's flashing now, so we need to zip through this. Bloody hell, May was good, she said. And it's ended on a high because look at that step count. There we go. That was May. Should we tune in for the last one, which is June? So let's look at June. I think we need to get, oh, June highlights. This is probably going to be quite honeymoon heavy because David and I went on our honeymoon to Norway in June. Here is a picture of Norway. Looking gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful, relentlessly. Best book I read was Yellowface by Rebecca F. Kuang. Amazing book. Was so hyped for it, couldn't wait to read it, and it absolutely delivered. It's a book about plagiarism, about cultural appropriation, about friendships. It's darkly funny, it's tense, it's like a thriller, a literary thriller. Absolutely fantastic book. We watched The Curse. I've watched not one film in June and very little telly, but David and I started watching this earlier this week. I enjoyed series 1 very much, and now we're into series 2. Yeah, we didn't really have all that much going on in terms of telly, so we watched this and it was good. Little 24-minute long episodes, good fun. Tom Davis we find quite funny. Ian McKenney we enjoy as well, so yeah, it was good. Honeymoon obviously features very highly on the best bits of this month and also best bits ever. So here's 6 photos of me and David on our honeymoon. So that top one is David and I on a beach in Lofoten. The beaches were just amazing. Like, the water was so clear. That's David in the fjord somewhere just looking handsome on the boat. That's me holding up the Norwegian flag outside a little pub in, I don't think they'd call them pubs. I think it was called a pub actually, in Skoldum. This is David and I out on celebration night wearing our wedding outfits, which was very, very nice. I wore my wedding dress again. There we are again. This is that bottom left one is us on the first day, so we're so, so happy. And then that one is David in Anne Dalsner's pointing up at our cabin. So that little square you can see at the end of David's finger, that's our cabin. Yeah, it was amazing. Oh yeah, and here we go. So Stitch Fix, as I mentioned earlier, here, these are all of the items that I got in my most recent one, which I took away on. So I asked for summer dresses to wear on my honeymoon, and this is what they sent me. So this top left blue dress. So these shoes that I've got in every photo, they're from Stitch Fix as well. Amazing. The most comfortable platform sandals I've ever worn. They felt like I was walking on a cloud. So, so comfortable. Then these two, so the blue dress, they're both quite 90s, I guess, with this sort of like strappy. I don't often wear strappy stuff, but they both look so nice, and they both are sort of like micro floral print. This green one in the bottom right has got like a twisted detail here, which is just a really nice little extra thing. Both the colours I loved on me. They go really nice with my hair colour. The top I never would have picked. This is from Levi's. It's a green top and it's buttons all the way down, and I've always sort of thought I'm not a buttons all the way down girl, but it looked really nice on, particularly with these jeans. And then this last one was the jumpsuit. I've added that belt myself. It did have a tie belt, which I've also worn with it and it looks lovely. This is by Stitch Fix's own brand, Editor's Cut. But yeah, I mean, look how fabulous all of those outfits are. I was so elated with them. So yeah, just to say, I will link the affiliate link down below if you would like to go and have a try. Would highly recommend. There she is, I'm saying it. The album I listened to that month was The Age of Pleasure by Janelle Monae. Really, really love her. And yeah, fantastic, fantastic album. The playlist we made was a 90s bangers playlist, which was very, very enjoyable. And I've enjoyed listening to that a lot. Oh, so yeah, this is sad, but just before we went away on honeymoon, we had to have our little cat Minnie put to sleep. So yeah, it was a real month of like, because the honeymoon was honestly like some of the best times of David and I life, but it was preluded by the fact that we had to have our very elderly cat put to sleep. Now, we knew it was coming. I've mentioned this a few times on the channel. Like when we got her at 8 and we'd had her for over 10 years. We'd also had her like since we moved in with each other. We moved in with each other in the February and we got her in the April. So we'd always sort of lived together as a threesome really, apart from the first 2 months when we didn't have her. We miss her so much, like particularly if there's just one of us in the house. Like we've both spoken about this, like we're so used to the other person asking how Minnie is or like what's Minnie doing, and she's not here. We also we didn't really very much have the windows open because we were always worried that Minnie would jump out of the window because she was an indoor cat. When we got her, she'd never been out and we just kept her indoors. So now seeing the windows open, I'm always like, and then remember that Minnie's not here. So there's so many reminders of her not being here. But we gave her such a lovely life and she gave us such a lovely life. We miss her so much, so much. And for those people who've been asking, do you think you'll get another cat? I do think we'll get another cat. I know we'll get another cat, but I don't know when that time will be. But yeah, she was a lovely, lovely girl. So there we go. I think that's it. That is it of the month. So that's all of the first half of the year through the highlights on my Instagram page. Let me know what some of your highlights of the first year have been. Let me know if you've enjoyed this format. And I'm going to go and edit this now because I imagine this will probably take forever and a day to edit. And I'll see you all soon for another Richard video. Goodbye!